There we have ourselves an INFINIX Hot 8, which occasionally is called the X650, with an addition, probably C, at the end. And we are here to refurbish this phone, and you will see that this phone is greatly shattered and overheats, and that's why it is here. Now, this video we are going to use a little of a different format, and please do let me know in the feedback or comment section what you think about it. Now, we are going to give you a history of the phone. I mean, why did it come here? And then we shall refurbish it by replacing the screen and then looking into the overheating problem. Now, in the end, we shall tell you the price of this phone, and alongside that we shall give you the specifications. And I want to get your opinion. For the cost of restoration, was it worth the refurbishing? Anyway, let's get right into it. So one fateful afternoon, by the way, we are here in Uganda, and it's a hot, humid, quiet afternoon, and this phone, that fateful day, decided to land in the hands of the children, and the children decided to have a field trip with it. And because this is a loving parent, there's not much they could do but consult me whether it was worth restoring this phone. Anyway, let's restore it, tell you the specifications and the price at which we completed the restoration, and then you get to give me some feedback. All right, now first things first, we are going to have to take this phone apart, and that being said, we have to remove the SIM card tray, which we have already done. It goes right in there, and having done that, we are going to press this down as we uncure this around here to get this back cover apart. Now this is the point where I could simply go quiet and you just watch what's going on. Now at this stage, I'll just comment on the fact that you have to press that fingerprint down, because you don't want it sticking to the back. As you pull it off, you stand the chance of ripping the fiber, and that comes off like that. I already open this, so I'm just retracing my steps for your sake. Anyway, remove that screw all over the peripheries, and having removed those screws, that means this is able to lift, and then that is able to go off. Oh, the fingerprint should come off. I've got lucky there because I had already done that. Now, having done that, the next stage is to place this phone onto a hot surface to soften the adhesive on the sides of the phone. All right, let's do that. And we're back. Now, that took about 10 minutes at 95 degrees C, and then that also helps me to lift this battery out. Do not use a metallic thing when prying out these batteries, because when you rupture them, they catch fire. That's out. So the next stage is to unplug that connector that belongs to our dead screen, and then we get in between the screen and the peripheries of the phone, and this should lift off like this, and just like that, the old screen is out of place. Now the next stage is to clean off any residue adhesive. We're actually performing a screen replacement. Now I have scraped off the excess adhesive, and let's get some of our isopropyl alcohol and clean any smudges and that would prevent proper bonding between the screen and the phone. So we go around. This is just to remove any oily substance that might want to stay or lodge itself in between here. All right, make sure where the screen is going to sit, everything is out of place, and just like that. Now, because I am going to place a new screen, I need to clean the front camera, because it's going to be covered by the screen. All right, now next thing is to apply adhesive, but before we apply adhesive we have to acquire our replacement screen, which we have already done, and this is it. So we could get it out so you just have a glimpse at it, and that's that. Now let's proceed to apply adhesive. We always apply on both the frame and on the screen, such that when the two come together the bond is perfect. Okay, now first we begin with the frame. I believe it tends to take the bulk of the glue adhesive. I'm using E8000. It has a very strong bonding strength, and so for these phones that have very small bezels and therefore little surface area for glue mounting, you need an adhesive that forms a strong bond, so that even if the surface of contact is really trivial, it's significant enough for the screen to last here a lifetime. I mean the phone's lifetime, because then that's all that is anyway useful, though it can last past the phone also. And phone's lifespan, I mean motherboard's life. Anyway, this is an INFINIX Hot 8, and we are refurbishing it, restoring it to life. The main purpose is to, one, allow the owner recover memories and also be able to keep using their device. Two, prolong the life of this device and save the landfills of e-waste. I know that sounds noble, but I think it feels like an answer I learned from school, but I doubt it's why I am restoring this anyways. And then 3, or 2B, is to get paid and probably make lunch or supper here and there. Yeah, so we are refurbishing this, so stay until the end of the video, and we'll reveal the cost of the restoration or the specifications of the phone, and then you get to tell me, was it worth the restoration or not? And also let me know whether you would like that format of presenting this content. Present the problem, its history, give you the price, discuss the specifications of the phone. You tell me whether it is worth it. Of course, I already have an opinion about that, but perhaps I want to know what you think. I could be wrong. All right, now the next is to apply the adhesive on our replacement screen, and so we go all over the edge of the screen, okay, steadily all around, and always be careful not to overly be generous with your adhesive around these areas where the fiber of the display connects into the display and the touch layer, because the solvent in this adhesive tends to dissolve conducting lines, and you don't want that to happen. You may end up with a screen with lost sensitivity in certain places, yet you only have just replaced it. Okay, all right, so we're going to give it some 5 minutes for the adhesive to have its solvent evaporate a bit so that it gets some level of consistency. And while at that, we might as well peel off that blue layer that protects the screen when on shelf. And I also don't like this sticker. This is normally a warranty sticker that is given to me by the person I buy from. Helps him identify his screens in case I returned it and it had a fault. But I already tested it while at the shop, so I have no worries. So that goes off, and we may wait our 5 minutes. All right, so I think 5 minutes have elapsed, and we now bring these together. So this is actually the easy part. Just push the fiber back in and bring this together like that, and roughly align it. Do I have anything in between? Okay, push it down. Okay, it looks like the adhesive had gained more strength than I imagined, but that's that. All right, now the next thing is to strap down the fiber and peel that off. I have seen a couple of scenarios where this has been left on just simply because the technician didn't imagine what they were for. And let's plug that right in there. So the first step before we go any further is to just confirm that this screen actually indeed works. Plug in the battery and then we hit the power button. But to be able to hit the power button, we have to press this board down so it touches that ribbon so that this is active. So hold down the power button, and this far we know that the display works. Now we wait for it to boot so we can give it some touch input to be able to test the touch. While we are at that, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to put back these together, because these Infinixes and Technos seem to take forever to boot. I do not know why. We're still on cheetah. Okay, this is done fairly well. Emergency, since I don't have the pin, and we now know that the touch also works. Next thing is to put it together and perform some thread therapy on it. But before we reach the part of thread therapy, I need to bring back the screws. Okay, screws served on a yellow platter, orange. But what color is this? I'm told men are colorblind. I don't know whether it's only an excuse. All right, so first screw goes right in there. This part is actually rather a mundane process, so if you really want to watch me screw down these screws, well and good. I'll be grateful, because then YouTube thinks I'm doing sense here. But if you do not have the time, you could skip forward to the point where I bring the back cover or the fingerprint into place. But this is the obvious part, and if you can't do this, then you're better off keeping on watching my videos and leaving these to us. But otherwise, anyone can do this. So one last screw remains, and I think once it is secured in place, rest is easy peasy. All right. Hey, do you have the pin? Hey, you'll be getting it. All right. Now that this is placed in, that's placed in, and that. Wait a minute. This screw looks extraordinarily long for where it has gone. I don't think that's right for it. The idea is we do not want to perforate the display even before the client receives the phone. I mean, that would be sad. Strangely, it's the right screw. The other one is actually too short to be long. All right, that done. Next thing is to plug in the fingerprint sensor. I wonder how precise these fingerprint sensors are, because this is an Infinix. By my standards, it looks like one of those nice generic phones. I do not know. Anyway, it's the opinion I normally have with these phones that use either MediaTek or Spectrum ROMs. All right, we are going to bring our threads and give this phone a thread therapy. And why threads? The idea is we need the screen held down as the adhesive sets. All right, and we begin with the longitudinal direction right there, and I think let me finish the threading of camera. So this is how it's looking like after the thread therapy. So why I love threads is because they spread out the pressing force all over the periphery of the phone, unlike using rubber band. And now is the time of truth as I reveal the specifications of this phone, the price for this restoration, the cost of this restoration, and then you get to tell me, was it worth it for such a phone? All right, so we are at the point where I tell you the specifications of this phone. It's a 2 GB at the very basic, with a 32 GB internal, and a decent 5000 milliampere hour battery, and a basic HD screen at 6.5 inches. So you let me know whether you think this is a phone you would hold in today's era, or you would spend to restore it. Now, how much did I spend, or will the client spend on restoring this phone? That's $40. $40. So is it worth it for these specifications? Let me know in the comment section. See you in the next video. Thank you.